All right. Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your monthly reading. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. Mr. Apollo's right in the background relaxing. The delay this morning was due to me because as I was getting ready, I stubbed my toe and I needed a little bit of extra time. So thank you for your patience. Definitely Mercury retrograde energy coming through today. And wild dreams, too, for those of you that are watching this live right on the heels of the eclipse and the new moon, and again right here on the heels of retrograde as well. Lots of shifting, lots of moving, lots of changes coming through for you. So I'm here to help you navigate. Again, in case you just joined, my name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. We're going to be taking a look at Scorpio sun, rising, and moon messages for the month ahead. You can also watch for other aspects of your chart or for other people that might be in your life that you want to know what's going on. You can look for them and let them know. Here's a major format that we're going to be taking a look at. We always start with channeled messages. And again, I'm going to highlight some of the dream messages that I got. Last night was kind of interesting because it was one of those evenings where every time I closed my eyes, it was like I went straight back into dreaming mode. And with the eclipse, it's really interesting for those of you that are super sensitive. I'm sure you felt it. Solar eclipse with a new moon. For that moment, there was just a lot of openness, a lot of space, a lot of darkness, and it definitely reveals opportunities and things that need to fall away. So what an auspicious sort of moment for me to be here reading for you. So let me go ahead and pull that up. And then after that, like I said, we'll get into the, not the channel messages, but we'll look at the Celtic Cross after that. All right, so I was picking up on a major sort of clearing event going on for you. This could be a new job opportunity, an invitation in a relationship, something that needs to leave your life first. And then there's this question that will come through for you if you want to stay, if you want to go. Ultimately, everything that I'm picking up on is opening up like this new beginning for you. And so let's just get into the messages. So the clearing event. I saw basically a symbol for the tower in my dreams last night. It was a expansive space. It almost felt like it was a mansion. Not so much tall as there was just a lot of openness in it. And I was projected in there. I wasn't in there. I was kind of like on the outside looking in with the third eye. And I heard a voice saying, "Come on in." But I knew that things needed to fall away first. And then I could start, I watched as basically it started to crumble, just like the tower. So to me, this is pretty easy. There's an old structure in your life that needs to be released. It could be in the form of a relationship, and it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be a mentorship sort of relationship. It could be an employer. It could just be someone who has created boundaries that don't need to be, not boundaries, but sort of limitations around you that don't need to be there anymore. So the first thing is to kind of let it fall apart. Sometimes we have this desire, especially if you're intuitive or a healer, or you just have this paternal or maternal energy to want to fix everything. And the truth of the matter is sometimes things need to fall away, fall apart, move on in order to create the space that you need to thrive. And so the gift from the universe to you today is the understanding that it's okay to let some things go or fall apart. You don't have to fix everything or everyone. And you don't have to get in the throes of that construction or deconstruction because it looked kind of messy to me. It didn't look like something that needed to be dealt with. It's much more empowering to decide what you want to do next after that thing kind of goes away. So I see a clearing event, something, someone that needs to either exit or enter your life. Once that happens, there's also this sort of energetic thread between you and them. And the question is, are you ready to release it? What we're in right now, both the end of April and beginning of May, it's a revolving door energy. That's what retrograde is. And you get a chance to go back into the past for a second, look at something, deal with something, release it. Someone else can come through. And that's basically what this is. It's a chance to graduate, to release, to reckon with the past as well. So I saw someone on the horizon and I heard like an old song, and it felt to me like there was this reunion energy. But I also got like intuitively the vibe of it being a swan song. So it's sort of the last time you have to deal with someone, something, or even a pattern. And then it goes away and it's gone in this lifetime anyway. So ask yourself if there's still a connecting thread. Why is there a thread? And if you want to move on, is there anything sort of like keeping you from saying or doing what you need to say or do in order to allow for that movement to take place. This should be a moment of absolute empowerment for you if you're willing, ready, and able to sort of embrace that. One really cool thing with Eight of Cups type of energy is if something, in the past you weren't able to achieve it, if it was just out of reach, you have a chance now to do it. So some of you want to prove something to yourself, and that's why you've been holding on to this idea. I need to go back to school. I need to get this thing done. I need to talk to this person. Okay, good. This is your bucket list. This is your moment. The good news is you have a whole month here really to kind of deal with it, but that's what you want to focus on over the next 4 weeks in particular, but even 6 or 8. But the next 4, if you're watching me live, it's all this energy of retrograde that's coming through that you can really embrace. And if you watch my channel enough, even the video that I did yesterday, I try to look at the positives, look at the opportunities that come with the celestial events, because our lives continue to march on and we have to embrace and kind of like navigate through these celestial events with the best grace that we can. All of this is giving you an opportunity to create some sort of a fresh start in your life. And sometimes you need that push, whether you're ready or not. That's sometimes why the Tower comes through. It's the universe just saying, it's time. I'm going to make it easy or unavoidable for you to now have to move forward. I like to use the metaphor of surfing when it comes to that tower, that energy. You can surf it and you don't have to sort of like have it crash down on you. So that's what I think is important. And part of that is going to be recognizing I don't have to get involved with your drama, whoever your is in your life. So it could be a relative, it could be a parent, it could be a loved one. And you're just saying, I'm here to support you, but I can't change all of this. That's going to free up your energy so you have more resources to make this an amazing month ahead. So what did I put here? Pick up the pieces. In the first slide, we saw things falling apart. You can decide what to take with you and then use some of those elements again. You don't have to start from scratch. So take what you need, leave what you don't need, and then, like the old Aaliyah song, brush yourself off and try again. That's really what this is about. You get a full card, a new entry into the major arcana, a chance to do something better, smarter, more informed than you did in the past. And that's a pretty great and empowered way to be. And so never fear the energy of the Tower. There was an old song in the 80s, 70s, whatever. Don't fear the Reaper. Same thing with Don't Fear the Tower. It's here to help. It's here to inform. And it really wants to help you kind of release an old cycle. And once you do that, I see renewal coming through for you. All right. It's a really nice way to kick off today's reading. By the way, welcome everyone. If you like what you see, do me a favor, hit the like, subscribe, share this with someone that you think might enjoy it. That's how the channel grows. And I couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you so much. All right, let's get started. We're going to take a look at the Celtic Cross again. This can especially be used for sun, rising, and moon, and we'll go into that a little bit later today. How's everybody doing? How are you feeling in the throes of retrograde? To me, every retrograde is different. I feel pretty positive about this, my stub toe notwithstanding. But, it's one thing that I will say, that's a reminder, even as I do this live, for all of us to just be like slow down, be present, be mindful of what's coming through, and take it one step at a time, just like the Fool. The Fool needs to watch where he's going. That's one thing that also comes through. All right. Let's focus again. We're going to be looking at the energy of Scorpio, Sun, Rising, Moon, Venus, taking a look at the next 6 to 8 weeks. What are the messages for you? Love that we got an ace right off the bat. All right, let's take a look at a little bit deeper what's going on. We're not going to do all three. Well, all right, we'll do all three. I'll honor whatever comes through. Normally I wouldn't take that many, but that's fine. shuffle this one more time. Okay, ooh, wow, heaven is the last one. That's great. Okay, so you're definitely headed in the right direction. Love that. We're going to begin here first with your catalyst card, and it is about taking care of your body, your strength. Think of this as a very different version of our traditional strength card. So with this, we're focusing not so much on the other person, but more on building yourself up. In the traditional strength card, we see the woman opening up the mouth or the teeth of the beast, and it's not always a lion. Sometimes it's a crocodile, sometimes it's some other beast. But here it's more about taking aim and deciding what you want to fight for, what's important. And we see here that this could actually be more about words. Whenever I see arrows or swords, it's about communication to me and when and where to kind of like send it out there. So focusing on your throat chakra, opening that up so that the clarity of communication is there, pulling in the resonance of your solar plexus. And, you know, there's a difference between no and no, like when you have to kind of go a little bit deeper, or if you just use a different tone of voice. So this is about finding the strength within your body and also within your mind and the throat itself to communicate better. And interesting that that's kind of like what's coming through, but that's what I get here. If you take aim, you can do what you decide to do, because we're looking at an archer here. So some of you may also have a Sagittarian placement in your chart somewhere, but this is also saying, I really intend to do this. I'm going to put my focus, my communication, and my actions behind it. Always love a good archer card, like Katniss, right? So this is about deciding that you're going to do it. And even if you're against all odds, you have a chance of prevailing. Okay, so far, so good. Now let's take a look at the Celtic Cross and see specifically where the energy is taking us. Focusing first on your center. Actually, before I do that, I like to just take a scan of the cards. So this was like that Eight of Cups moment. And I kind of, in my head, vacillated between Eight of Cups and also the Judgment card. Because Judgment card is really asking you, where do you stand? What do you want? Where are we going with this, right? So that's part of it. And then the other thing here is recovery, moving on. This is the nicest 10 of Swords you're going to see in almost any deck. So there's definitely this need to move forward, to move on. And I like that. And then let's see what else is coming through. I think that it's important here also to, once you release something, we see success and we see movement coming in. So definitely not a lot of alignment, but with what we were talking about in the channel messages. But let's take the centermost cards and begin with the Ace of Wands first. So this is really asking you, again, some people in this moment may be really curious where you stand. What do you think about this? They want to understand what's up here, what's here. So this is a chance to really share your ideas and to see them take shape, take form, and your passion is what pulls other people into your life. Ace of Wands is a very passionate card. We don't always see it, but here we see the passion in sort of like getting people behind your ideas. So they're great public speakers. A lot of times they end up being salespeople, but they could sell you anything, even like water from your sink. So this is a moment where you have that potential to sort of like buy into something, and people have the ability to buy into what you want to do. You should be focusing on something. This is a time for learning. This is a time to really kind of, again, roll up your sleeves and decide today is a day where I'm going to get this done. I see a lot of potential for learning, for moving a project forward, and for getting people excited about that. Some of that may come from deciding to put out a proposal or a pitch, and the Page of Swords works nicely with it. This is the spark of inspiration or intuition, and this is the action that takes place because of that. It's interesting here that some of you might be working with limited or sort of like tight resources. So the Page of Swords is walking a little bit of a tightrope. You might also be dealing with people that are on either ends of the spectrum. We got some crazy stuff going on out there. With the Page of Swords, there could be people that really want it one way or another, and we kind of have like this black and white energy here. So you may be walking the middle, and it's an interesting place to be with respect to communications. And it could be kind of like what I'm dealing with, where there could be a lot of noise or distraction. Your ability to help people focus on what matters is what's going to be the most important thing in this moment in time. So don't keep your eyes closed. Pay attention to the environment. What are people saying? What are they doing? How can you help them come together and find a mutually beneficial outcome? You may be in a sort of like mediator role where you're trying to walk the middle, but you're going to do it. What I love about this one is she really is sort of like beating all the odds. Again, we have it happening here with this strength card. Now we have it here. So she's pulling at, research. She's coming through with a little bit of innovation. She's trying to listen to feedback, and she's trying to walk the middle. It's a lot, folks. I'm going to tell you one thing here. You don't have to be perfect. You're not going to always please everybody. Do the best you can. And when you do try to find a middle ground, that means that certain pieces are going to have to be cut out. You can't make everyone happy. So give yourself credit for whatever strides you are able to make. And in your own life, like me this morning, be careful. She's not watching where she's going, and she should. She's gotten this far unscathed, but it is important to be present. I'm all for multitasking, but don't overdo it. Don't get to the point where your body gives out or you make a sort of unnecessary mistake just because of sleep or stress. Judgment reversed. I love judgment. I love this interpretation of it. Let's look at it in the upright position first. So we see here the liberation that happens when you sort of just release and say, I can't control your thoughts, the actions that have already happened. What I can control is what I decide to do next. What I can control is my thoughts, my body, and my actions. So in this moment in time, you're being asked to decide, what do I want to do about this? What am I going to do next? And to not see one end as the full stop. Finally, that stopped. So with this, it's basically saying, okay, so a job ended, a relationship ended, perhaps someone transitioned out of your life, either figuratively or if someone died. It feels in the moment. All of these are forms of grieving, right? And it feels like sometimes when that moment happens, I'm never going to get past this, but you will. And part of it is just starting the statement in your head, I can do this. I know that it will get better. I don't know how, when, or, all of that, but I'm open now to receive a sign. And I'm ready for something better. Universe, show me an upgrade. I'm done with that. Even just saying I'm done, I'm over that, I'm done with this. I release this lesson. That's really what judgment is. And of course, being kinder to yourself and others. Even if they're not kind to you, just thinking they're obviously going through something and I don't want to shake the hornet's nest. So releasing yourself, releasing others from harsh judgments, it's essential to happiness and success. And the person in the chat that's saying they're ready for something better, keep saying that mantra, I'm ready to receive, I'm ready to receive the highest opportunity available to me in the divine timing, blah, blah, blah. You can add additional things, but say, you can use my mantra from a couple days ago. I'm ready to receive love, abundance, and opportunity in the highest forms. I'm ready to receive it now. Put that now in there because the universe doesn't know when to deliver sometimes. Okay, we're seeing some resource movement here. So I see you in the throes of this new sort of growth, but fear and anxiety over, is it okay? Will I go back into an old pattern? Should I hold on to a person, place, a thing, or a job just because it's safe and predictable? Or should I go into a place where I can grow and stretch a little bit? The energy wants to be in the latter. It wants to be in the growth sort of spectrum, but this is the key block. These two cards are blocking you, but actually there's three. This is, if I can't see it, it may not be possible. If I can see it and it's not good, maybe that's better than nothing. This card is saying I'm ready for something better, but we'll get to that. All right. So with the Seven of Pentacles, just have proper limits. You can't, again, not feeling like you have to say yes to everyone, not feeling like you have to subsidize, help, fix, heal everyone. That's going to be key. Because you're being asked to put down your own sort of firm foundation, put the roots in the ground and really feel stable. And maybe this is the first time in a while that you've been giving yourself the opportunity to do that, but that's what happens. Once you do that, we see growth, and we can even see like a new root or a new leaf coming through. And anytime you plant something new, it takes time for the roots to kind of start to feel their way through. In one of my orchids that I bought from the greenhouse, there was they put a spider plant in there for some reason. I'm like, oh, I've been meaning to get one. I'll bring it out, some other time. But it's basically in the past week, it doubled in size because it was root bound in this little presentation. I'm like, it needs to be in a pot. What are they doing? They put some bark around it. I'm like, that's not how that grows. So I put it in a pot, and in the course of a week, it like doubled in size almost. And I thought, okay. So sometimes you can imagine this, things could grow faster than you expected. You just need to give yourself the right environment, and the right environment may not be where you're at. And that's the potential block here. So 8 of Swords in reverse is saying, see the potential, don't feed the fears. Don't worry about the fact or what's not a fact. Don't worry about this sort of thought, which is, if I can't see it, maybe it's not possible. Well, maybe if you can't see it, it just hasn't been done yet. And maybe, everything starts with a dream, with a thought, with an ambition. Don't let go of that just because it isn't obvious to everybody else, just because it hasn't been done or proven or seen yet. You're being asked to kind of go a little bit on your faith and your intuition here. The other thing is, this is you. You look pretty good. This is your fears. That doesn't look so good. Let's not allow for other people's projections to come through. So I want you to see what you are, which is pretty awesome here at the top here. So focus on your empowerment, yourself, your abilities, and let go of this sort of fear from the past. 4 of Pentacles in reverse. If it's going to come through, I want to see it reverse. It's saying you're letting go of something. This is a pretty accurate adaptation of the card. She's holding the coin or coins closest to her heart. Usually it's the 4th coin that's right here. Usually there's one under each foot, there's one on the head, and there's one on the heart. But she's holding it all close to her heart and saying, at least there's this. And I would say that's just the beginning. And if that's not enough, or if that's it's not sustaining you, then it's okay to move on to something else. Job, relationship, opportunity, thought process. So this is just a moment for you to expand and to move away from projections, fears, and anxieties of friends, family, and environment, to let go of things that don't sustain, and possibly just to move on. This 10 of Swords isn't going to become a part of the drama. So typical 10 of Swords, you see a person on the ground in a pool of blood, it's pretty vivid, with all of the swords in their back. And in this one, here's the interesting thing. Ostensibly, you have what it takes. Hey, Apollo, you want to say hi to everybody? Come here. He's like, no, I'm going to go relax in the other room. You want to come here? No, he's fine. So with this one, we have the 10 swords basically in the person's back, and they're going to decide, should I enact in this or should I not? And the message here, the prevailing hope, is that you walk away from it. Okay, he does want to say hi. Hey, buddy, you can say hello. He's just in the corner looking at me. So it's like, Dad, you can allow me to say hello. It is about timing, and this time around, it's about saying, I can do better. I don't need to do this anymore, right? As Apollo yawns, he's kind of tired of the drama. So interesting thing with this card, there was a previous version of it, and there was a little bit of drama around the choice of illustration. So I actually like where she landed on it, where basically instead of the person having scars on their skin, they have kind of moved on. And I think she was over the drama too. But I've always liked this 10 of Swords because she just made a decision to move on. And sometimes we have to do that as well in our lives and just say, okay, I've learned from this. I'm not going to repeat an error. And now let's try something different. So you don't have to do this again. If someone tries to bait you with an argument or with something that just doesn't feel right, you can say, you know what, I'm just going to move on. And I think that's going to be your key to success this month, because again, it's going to save you some time and energy in the long run. And what we've actually got here is the team energy, the 4 of Wands and the Knight here. You could almost put these 5 wands together. This is work being done, but you don't have to do it all yourself. We have leadership in the form of the Knight. That's you. She's marching to the beat of her own drum. And then we have the 4 of Wands up here, which could be new friends, new opportunities, new things coming into the horizon because of your singular, unique approach to life, etc. So let's look at this card up front here. So it is reversed. We have like a wild stallion in the background, or a Mustang, whatever you want to call it. And then we have her with that Ace of Wands energy at the center of that drum. And she's saying, let's see where we can take this. I'm moving to my own rhythm, to my own vision. I'm focusing on what's possible. And maybe that's loud, noisy, unusual, whatever to someone else, but it's exactly what is needed in this moment. Notice how she is in the four wands. They're all around her, right? And then guess what? It's her actions, her communication, what she does that brings about the partnership that will eventually be the Four of Wands. And they are dancing to the beat that she's keeping, which I love here. And there's even more good stuff to come. The Four of Wands is a foundational card. It's a so much better foundational card than the Four of Pentacles. This is like crumbs, and this is the whole cake. The Four of Wands is basically you build the stage for something to come into your life: success, friendship, love, opportunity, all of that. And you keep working hard at that. And eventually, rather than having to go chase the people or the opportunities, synchronicities start to open up for you. And it's just about believing in them and letting go of the old way of being. So there's love and partnership that wants to come through. It does not have to be romantic. It could be in the form of people that want to support you or people that want to help provide resources. It could also be love, but what I see here is the opportunity for more. So all you have to do is kind of open up to that more. Yes, if you're looking for love, it can come through, and it looks pretty good. We have success as the outcome. The Six of Wands couldn't ask for a better card in the 10th card here. So we see success. I love how we can't really see the people in this card. It's more about feeling the sense of completeness, fulfillment, sustainability from within, not so much everyone else. Now, if you look into the distance, instead of people, we have all these hands reaching up. It reminds me of a really old Depeche Mode song where they're talking about everything counts. It's like these grabbing hands, grab all they can. So people, and that's literally one of the lines. So people will take as much as you're willing to give them. There's all these grabbing hands saying, I want more, give me this, do this, do this. You don't have to do that all the time. It's better if you pull back a little bit. It's better if you take care of yourself. And at the end of something, leave them wanting a little bit more. That's my advice on that card, okay? Let's go ahead and go a little deeper, and we're going to take a look at the expanded forecast looking at health, wealth, love, and destiny. You got 3 cards for health. I feel like we can look at these as past, present, and future. So let's do that. All right, so with respect to health, we'll kind of start with the past card. So we have this electric eel spirit, and it's saying bringing your ideas to life. Really nicely aligned to this. Why is it coming through in health? Because you'll be happier if you're doing something that brings you joy and passion, and the eel can represent that too. There's also this idea that something slipped through your hands or slipped by you before. It's coming around again, and this is your chance to basically do something. So deciding to move resources around a little bit and focus on something that brings joy in your life. That's the first message with health. The second one is time to let go. Time to let go. And so the only real block this month is holding on to something longer than you need to. So we have the groundhog here representing winter or an endless winter, and it's saying, I'm tired of this. There was another song by Dar Williams where she talks about like depression and feeling like she's being in this winter machine that just keeps happening winter after winter. Or you can think of Game of Thrones where it's like winter is here. Winter is over. That's your caption on this one. Let it go. The groundhog is coming out and saying, enough now. Let's move on. Let's move beyond this, right? So the groundhog and the 10 of swords, the groundhog and the 4 of pentacles reversed. It's time to move on to greener pastures, to something else. So giving yourself permission to move on. And now let's focus on this one, future, panther, reclaim your power, reclaim the speed. If there was anything lost, if there was any sort of lack of momentum, this is the one that we're going to focus on the most, reclaiming power, okay? Now let's look quickly at your overarching health messages here and see if we missed anything. The main thing here is if there's any chronic pain or fatigue going on in your body, obviously work with your doctor or therapist, or just reduce whatever it is that's causing the stress in your life, okay? Because it can be sort of a figurative or, more symbolic pain, or if it's actual pain, obviously work with your doctor on that. That's the main thing. Some of you may have had a close brush with disappointment, could have been a close health call, brush with death, could have lost someone too. Whatever it is, it's reminding you of how finite life can be. I never like to say it's short or fleeting. It's not unless you want it to be. But it is finite. We are only here in this body for a limited amount of days and years. So make the most of it. Never imagine that you're stuck. This is a time to be unstuck, to see potential, to release boundaries, to embrace partnership and success, which is what all of the final cards have to do with. Moving on towards the greener pastures that want to be there. So embracing what you want to do, letting go of the old things that were holding you in that sort of winter, and allowing yourself to now take a leap of faith, really, with the Panther as well. Okay? Beautiful messages for health. Let's move on to wealth, resources, life purpose, and career. Okay, so let's take a look. Sorry, wrong card for that one. All right, so for this one we have wholeness, and this is coming through with Lord Ganesh. So Ganesha is great for helping us get past boundaries. This card is almost exclusively the color of the heart and also the solar plexus. So you're going to find this feeling of being whole. We also see the heart chakra being sort of like emphasized here. Anyway, the way to your wholeness or completeness is by loving and accepting yourself. Don't worry so much about what others think. What do you think? How do you feel? Where are you feeling blocked? What are you doing to release that block? Healing your inner child as well. All of those things are really what Ganesha is coming through. It's saying, when this feels good, everything else is going to feel good as well. And so going beyond that thing that slipped from the past and saying, you know what, I always can reclaim that. I'm going to reclaim that. That is what the Panther wanted you to do as well. All right, let's take a special look here at anything regarding wealth, career, or life purpose and see what the message is. Don't accept less than your worth. So if you interview for a job or an opportunity and they want to give you a low title, low pay, you just know that this isn't where you should be. I agree. Don't accept less. Don't put yourself in a precarious position where it's not going to be enough. Negotiate. Either stay put, find something else, or move beyond this opportunity. Don't let someone else, also if you're trying to sell something, convince you that it's not worth something. You have a capacity to negotiate for less, but if it's you, don't accept less than what's reasonable. Let's put it there. Someone may have said or done something and it still stings. It's kind of like it's still under the skin a little bit, so you might need to do something to heal in that perspective. Again, I'm not a substitute for a counselor. You might need to talk to someone in your life. You may need some other sort of support. Friends and family are coming through here for sure with the Four of Wands, but whatever you need to move on, that's really what this energy is about. Overall, it's a breakout month for you because we do have Knight of Wands. Don't try to make yourself the same. Being different is good. Other people are drawn to that singular approach, and I do see success on the horizons for you. On the horizon, I should say, for you. It's about being truthful to your heart. That's where the success happens. You also may be in a place where there's a glass ceiling or you're not being seen or appreciated. Undervalued, underappreciated. Valued, appreciated, successful. You've got it. It's in the cards. You may not have it where you're at. Go where the energy is. That's the main message here. And where your heart is. All right, let's move on. Speaking of heart, nice segue. We're going to take a look at love and relationships. We have the Harpy Eagle coming through. Really beautiful energy with this. Not quite sure if it's an apex predator, but it's a pretty successful hunter. It gets what it wants. You have a lot of hunting energy coming through. We had the strength card here with all that ability to sort of like target in on something and get what you want. So I see it again here. If you're willing to fight for something, resources, success, opportunity, it will come through in your life. Let's look and see how this is going to be with relationships. We're going to look at 3 different levels. Those in a core relationship already, those looking for love, or those who are happily single. If you're in a loving relationship, here's the messages for you. First of all, there's a lot of history. This can represent the history in this lifetime, but also in past lifetimes. In this lifetime, it feels like you've overcome some loss or adversity. You've had to prove yourselves. You've had to overcome other people's lack of imagination or acceptance. Good for you. Karma, if it is karma, for those of you that are just having past life connections here, remember you're not you're not destined to repeat the past. One of the things that's coming through in the present is valuing, and also the percentage of how much you're investing in the relationship. This mathematically doesn't even out. It should be like 70-30, not 70-40. There's a little bit of redundancy. There's also inequity going on. So the main thing here is give and take. It's never perfect in a relationship. One person's always doing a little bit more or less, but it evens out over time, right? So I think the importance here is feeling like you're getting back what you put in some way, shape, or form. And if that's not happening, having an honest conversation. Pages are really good at listening. She's not listening as much as she should. So this one's a little distracted. So I think better listening and better communication will help with the inequity that's coming through, possibly with time and energy that you're investing. Saying thank you, saying I love you, saying I see and appreciate what you're doing goes a long way. And maybe that's all you need to communicate to the partner, or saying it really helps me to know that you can see and appreciate this. You may be in a partnership, especially when we have wands here in the environment, where the person's like, I show you that I love you. Do I have to say it? So there could be a person in your life that has difficulty communicating or expressing themselves. Is it worth the fight? You guys have to find the middle ground. That's actually what we saw here. Maybe conceding that there are certain things that you do need to discuss, certain things that you don't need to discuss. And that is part of a happy relationship, is finding the rules of engagement, figuring out how to best make both people happy. And that's going to involve a little bit of concessions on either side. I do see the ability to have an amicable outcome. We love that in hopes, fears, and opportunities, there's the Four of Wands. Bring it back to the fact that you love the person. If you can start and end the conversation with, first of all, checking in with them and then saying, I love and care about you. I love and care about us. This is one thing that I need help with in this relationship. I need to know that I can count on you. You've said all the right things there. I care about us. I love us. I see us together. I want this to work. This bothers me though. Can we work on it together? What do you think? How can we fix this? Stuff like that. Again, I'm not a therapist, but these are some ways that I would kind of put it out there. Starting from what Ganesha showed us. However you express yourself with love, that's the key. Each of you are going to have to sort of like approach this differently, but that's my message on that. Ultimately, I can see a successful outcome. The only thing is, one party may not want to share stuff with the other person. The Four of Pentacles is about like, I want to keep it close to my heart. I don't know if I want to share it. So the best that you can do is open it up and say you're safe here. The thing that you don't want to do is to sort of like put them in their crossbows and say, this is your fault, or I want this, or this has to happen now. So no demands, more open space, softer approach, softer language on that is going to go a long way. All right. Now let's go on to those who are seeking love in their life right now. So single and looking, moving from partner to single and looking. Yes, you can find what wants to come through first is actually networking, friendship, and it may have a slow burn. There may be an immediate sort of physical attraction, but it feels like what needs to develop first is the friendship. The other party may need to trust you first. And that's what I get. One or both sides are holding back just a little bit, even though it could immediately go to the physical. It feels like you want to talk a little bit. You want to make sure that there's an actual friend there, not just a physical partner or like a physical attraction. So yeah, take your time, slow down a little bit. Here's some things that I also see going on with you. Let me take a quick drink here. You got a lot of resources tied up at present. Resources can include your schedule, your time, not a lot of time. You might be focusing a lot on achieving or saving or working. Your headspace is there. You're even a little distracted. You might bump into this person not knowing it. It feels like it's an accidental sort of meeting here. We have the two knights. Neither of them are looking at each other, by the way. I do like that we have two knights. This is really good, actually. So this is just a chance for you to sort of say, oh, maybe I wasn't looking for that. Maybe you're even on a rebound, or the other person's on a rebound. But you can make this work. Slow it down a couple of notches. Have some fun, have some conversations, have a few dates before you worry about stuff. But we do have a successful outcome. Freeing up your schedule, though, is key, and looking around. Both of these knights are distracted. What they're seeking may be right there in the periphery. Okay. If you're single and happy, I think the main focus for you, and it feels like I've been talking about this a lot as I've been looking at all the May energy, is around networking. I see a lot of success in work as well. So you have a great ability to network. You have a great ability to be seen. People really care about your thoughts. Like, what do you think about this? Or if you want to put something out there, I feel like you can make some traction with that. For everybody this month, I think it's important to this could represent the tower energy in your life. Let go of the people that tend to stir the pot a little bit or shake the hornet's nest, and they want to get an uprising out of you. You're really over it, this point in your life. There's so much better sort of energy and opportunity that wants to present itself on the horizon. So best 10 of swords, sometimes it's better just to move on. Let bygones be bygones. Walk through that revolving door and see what else is out there. Okay? Beautiful, powerful messages coming through. Now let's go on to one of the most important cards, Destiny. We have Heaven reversed. Reminds me of a Tracy Chapman song, Heaven on Earth. So heaven's right here sometimes. Here's a cool thing. Like, both of my parents are in spirit. I asked my mom in a visitation, I said, "Are you happy?" And she said, "I'd be a fool not to be." But she did give me a little bit of insight. She said, "But there's a lot of rules. There's a lot of protocol, because you think of how there's hierarchy there." She has a lot on her schedule because she's learning things and moving through things. And depending on what your version of the afterlife is, there are sort of protocols that you have to follow. So there's a lot of freedom here. There's a lot of heaven on earth, which is you get to make your choices, you get to experience new things, you get to break molds. There's a reason the soul keeps coming back here. It's because you get all these fresh starts and clean slates and new chances. So heaven is also here on earth, not just when we go into that liminal space and discover what's beyond this lifetime. Heaven, because we're all co-creators, right? We're part of source energy. So we're in a physical body, but we're spiritual energy in a physical body, and we're experiencing all of this. So there's a little bit of heaven here in all the souls on the planet, right? So try to recognize the joy of the moment, the heaven on earth. That's a really kind of like, I went way deep and esoteric on that, but that's kind of what's coming through here is now is the time that matters. And by the way, there's a little message here too. The number's kind of pivotal here. Sevens are very spiritual. But even if you're in a latter part of your life, like this could literally be the third or fourth quarter of your life, that's when some magic can happen too. I like to think of amazing performers that, like, well, if we think of Judi Dench, like she's so much more popular in her golden years than she was when she was younger. Then if we think of someone in their mid-career, like Tina Turner, she really hit it in her 40s and 50s. Yes, she was a part of the Ike and Tina Review, but she was really popular around Private Dancer and Simply the Best and all of that. And she was in Mad Max and all that. So she had like this second resurgence. So it's never too late for a new start. You're never done. It's not over till it's over. So at any state of life, 7, 17, 77, I don't care. You can always kind of exit and say, look, I have something new to show. I have another trick up my sleeve. So that's one thing that I'm getting here is that today is a blessing. Heaven is on earth. And you're far from your swan song. So enjoy this moment right now, okay? So I love, another example is Ian McKellen. He's been around for a long time, but it was Lord of the Rings in the late 90s, early 2000s. That was his breakout. But he was around for a long time. These people had long celebrated careers. And it was basically something middle to late in life where it's like also from Golden Girls, any of the Golden Girls really. But I can't think of the last one. You guys will put it out there in the chat. But like all of these folks are just kind of, they hit their stride in their 60s, 70s, 80s. And isn't it exciting? Betty White, that's it. That, you know, at any stage of life, something exciting can happen. So youth is cool. Youth is great, but it may be underrated. And we have so much more wisdom as we get older. Celebrate it, embrace it. Okay. Now let's take a look at the sun, rising, and moon messages and see what's coming through. Okay, we'll begin with messages for the sun sign. It is a time of healing right now. So Scorpio, sun rising, we have two cards that can represent healing. This one, the heart is ready to heal. We see the stitches there, but there's still some cords connected. So the universe is giving you encouragement and permission to cut any ties that don't serve your highest good, that no longer allow you. Sometimes people won't let you heal, right? They have to keep picking at you or judging you. No more room for judgment. You don't have time in your schedule anymore for people that are like that. So you're going to focus on taking care of yourself, loving and accepting yourself as the universe sees you in hopes that you can see yourself, and really allowing for love and opportunity to come in, because it is knocking. As we saw, we got the 2 nights this month. So this is a time to heal and say enough is enough when it comes to the things that no longer serve your highest good and make you unhappy. You don't have to be unhappy anymore. So if you're clocking in and out of a job that's not good, if you're holding on to a relationship, whatever this is where you think you're protecting yourself, you could be actually anchoring yourself in a sort of cyclical energy that this is a perfect time to change it, because we're in retrograde as we're reading it live. It'll be in retrograde at the beginning of next month and in the shadow. So most of next month, you can still break a cycle pretty effectively if you want to. So anytime that you're listening to this reading, it's exactly the right time to make the change, okay? And that's the message there. We did see new love, opportunity, and success happening, but there's inner healing that needs to also happen. So whatever you need to do, it's okay to cry, it's okay to scream, it's okay to have your moment. Get it out, constructively if possible, talking to someone, through art, through some sort of self-improvement, but whatever you need to do, this is your time to focus on self. Moving on to rising, it's going to be a busy month for you. A good month to put things to practice. It's a great month for business, for finance, again, for personal development. We want to avoid the competitive energy that seems to prevail in this Five of Wands. If they can all lift themselves up a little bit, they could get to that fire faster. But sometimes we can see a couple people here pulling, and they're not all focused and as focused as they could be. So your job could be in getting more collaborative, less competitive, being more in a leadership role, or finding environments that really celebrate leadership and cooperation and collaboration a little bit more than where you may be right now. But the Five of Wands gets work done. It's the wheel in motion. So keep it moving. Keep moving towards what your goal is. And don't forget that we actually have the Six of Wands, which is next in succession. So after the hard work comes success. It's a nice message. And by the way, you know, that card normally touches professional spheres. It's basically how others see you and how you're basically performing at work and school. So this is a really good energy. You're closer than you think to completion. Don't let the crowd sort of like confuse or distract you from the work that's already being done. For Moon, we have unexpected love or partnership. And we got no less than 2 cards in the spread. We're going to revisit it here in a second. But first and foremost, the Lover's card represents the internal magnet that you are. So basically, when you're in a state of love, bliss, or contentment, when you feel like I'm enough, I'm whole, that's the big message here. Thank you, Ganesh. Thank you, Lovers, because these 2 cards work together. I don't need anyone or anything. Guess what? The Lovers are knocking on the door, so are the Four of Wands, and so are the 2 Knights. So the first piece here is the feeling like I am enough. When you're enough, then you have enough to give to someone else, and you're going to attract someone else who can give that back as well. So you have to be whole. That Ace of Cups has to be overflowing, can't be reversed. So you're going to focus on the wholeness, that feeling of being whole. There could be someone coming in at an inconvenient, unexpected, or just sort of like completely out of left field sort of time. And that's cool too. And that sits nicely with what we saw here. These 2 knights, we had a page and a knight. The page looking here, the knight looking here, and they're not focusing on what's important, which is, hey, there's actually a partnership opportunity right here knocking on the door. Also, page and knight still nicely connected. I either want two of the same suit, or I want like a king and a queen, or a queen and a knight, or a knight and a page. So we're seeing very even energy here. Both of them are just busy. So you might be busy, but there's still this sort of partnership on the horizon for you. So if you're looking for love, it's a great time to be looking for love. Even if you're not, people are interested in what you have to offer, and it's hard to be upset about that. All right, we're going to now move on to the final portion, which is going to include a chance for you to ask me a question through just meditating on it, and I'll pull a card. Before we do that, a quick reminder, if you haven't already, give me a follow on social media. It's my name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all major platforms. A reminder that I don't give private readings, so keep an eye out for any of that. If you ever need validation of official links and everything, you can go to my website. Also, if you don't mind giving me a like, subscribe, and here, and also leaving a comment below when it's on replay, please do that. And you can also give back through super stickers, super chat, and also through memberships. Let's get into the meditation, folks. For today's meditation, I want to help you open and heal your heart, because those were some central messages with at least two of the aspects here with sun and moon. And then also, I feel like that's going to help you get past any blocks that you have in your life. So we're going to work with Lord Ganesha. So let's get comfortably seated if you're not already. Take a look at this card. Look at the beautiful green, lush energy. It almost looks like there's orchids around him. So imagine, if you will, that you are in a lush and beautiful forest. The sunlight is gently coming through the top of the leaves. So you have the same colors that you see here, green and greenish yellow, because of the color of the sun. And that's going to connect you with the heart and the solar plexus. Hold out your arms and your hands for a moment and just allow for a beam of sunlight to hit your heart space, and imagine that the heart shines out like a kaleidoscope of colors, but especially green. And you can see this beautiful green light shining on all of the plants, on all the trees, on everything that's in front of you. And then imagine that one beam of light connects you like a thread to whatever it is that you want to call into your life. More success, a new job, love, health and happiness. Whatever you want to envision that as being, imagine that heart beam is pulling it towards you because you're magnetic. And just focus on attracting, embracing, and nurturing that energy of growth and abundance. Let's play the singing bowl for a moment or two, and then I'll look at a final question that you might have for me. Keep breathing while I play this, and just relax. And if you have a hard time envisioning things, just listen to the singing bowl. That's why I do both. Take a moment or two to allow yourself to come back into your body, to see yourself as ready, willing, and able to call into existence whatever that dream, hope, or aspiration was. And now turn your attention to a question that you might have that has yet to be answered. Keep that question in your mind. Open your eyes on the next exhale if you haven't done so already. And I'm going to take a look and see what the universe has to say. A really auspicious card came through, Knight of Swords in reverse. Whenever the Knight of Swords comes through, it's an indication that things are happening pretty quickly. We see here someone sort of sprinting towards their motorcycle, and gosh, there's a common theme today, and they're all different decks, but with the archery, it's coming through yet again. So the more you focus, the more something's in the the crossbows and you can see this is what I intend to do, the faster something can happen. Take some time after listening to this reading today to be intentional, to be focused, to set into motion something with a clear sort of end point. This is why I'm doing it. This is how I'm going to do it. This is when I want to see it. The more you can plan right now, the better it's going to be. And retrograde is a perfect time for research and development. So give yourself some opportunity to do that. And then as you come out of the retrograde, which is going to be the middle of May. So if you watch this now, do some research, do some planning, maybe get things started, but then really hit the go button around the middle of May. You'll be happy that you did that. This is also saying no time like the present. For some of you, it is a little bit of catch up that you have to do, but you will get there faster than you think. Remember, we had the Panther that came through, reclaiming power, reclaiming speed. We also got the Harpy, which is pretty fast. So I think that rather than rushing, I'd love for you to be clear, because once you know and you kind of bring everything into focus, you won't waste as much time. It's like a GPS that's out of range. You have to kind of like amble around a little bit until it comes back. Just get your GPS completely focused, and then you're going to be able to make a smarter path to the outcome. It's a good time to speak up. It's a good time to revise things, revising contracts, revising proposals, and anything that you might be working on. This is a good time to edit for sure, and to say what's on your mind. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for showing up today, whether it's your first time here or you've been watching me for a long time. It's always pleasant to make new acquaintances and also to just connect with all of you today. I appreciate it. I'm going to welcome the newest members and say thanks to anybody that gave a super sticker, and then we'll wrap up for today. So it looks like we got a new member this morning, Infinity. Thank you so much. And I think one or two within the last day. So Elect 7 and Tina Miller, thank you as well. I appreciate everybody, whether you've just rejoined or you're a brand new member. Also, a couple of people, let's see, that gave back today. So thank you to Gigi and to Kit for your lovely contributions during this live reading. That helps me not only do more things like this, but I'm developing a special project that I'll launch at the end of the summer. And this is going into developing new series and new things that'll come to this channel. So I appreciate all of you. Again, give me a follow on social media if you haven't already, and do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe here. You can also share it with someone that you care about. Thanks to Floor for being a wonderful member for almost 2 years, just 1 month shy of that. So let's just round it up and say for 2 years, I appreciate your membership. Okay, everybody, a reminder, I'll be back again tomorrow. I believe I'm reading for Sagittarius. Then I'll be back on Sunday. I do a daily reading every day, plus I do some periodic celestial readings. You can look at my reading for all the 3 different events that we had happening yesterday on the main page. In the meantime, wishing you lots of love and light. Take care of yourselves and have a great month ahead. Bye-bye.